Hello, everyone, and welcome in tonight to this broadcast of Olentangy Orange versus Westerville North girls basketball tonight at Orange Pioneer Court. I am Ethan Hunter alongside Kylie Hansen. Kylie, what are some key parts of this game that you're looking forward to watching here before we get started?
Ethan, I'm really looking forward to watching this team come together. It's a new coach. This is a new year for this team and program, and this is a rebuilding season for many of the team, as many of the members are very young. So I'm just excited to watch them come out and hopefully get a victory against Westerville North tonight.
That is right. That is one of the key parts of the game, is that this is a very young team that we have going on here for your Orange Pioneers. You're almost led, I would say, by freshman Kayla Delmore. She is projected to do very well in her career. She is only a freshman. She has a twin sister out there as well, Emma Delmore, and they can really wreak some havoc up on other opposing teams, as they're a good duo of guards that you can tell there's something else about being a twin, as you know, where they have some extreme chemistry out there when you're out there. So as I apologize if you do not have video, but we will get that rolling as soon as we possibly can. For now, though, it will just be radio, and but we will call it as if you are watching the real game.
That's right. So it looks like the team right now is huddling. They're going to bring it in and cheer, and right now they're lining up on the court.
That's right. We're looking to get this tip-off underway here at Pioneer Court, as Westerville North is breaking their huddle and walking towards mid-court here. It appears that number 21, junior London Davis, will be out there getting the tip for your Orange Pioneers, as well as joined by Jordan Sullivan, Kayla Delmore, Ellie Beck, and Reese Miller. Westerville North wins the tip, and number 20 is taking it up the court. Standing and dribbling, passes to number 3. Number 3 takes it at the top of the key, drives through the lane, jumper at the key, and misses. But she gets her own rebound. Very important to hustle and get your own rebound, as it's set back up by number 20. Up to number 5, who gets the first basket of the game there in the paint. Number 5 for Westerville North being Shariah Smith. She is only a sophomore, and she is 6 feet tall. As Ellie Beck has a traveling violation there in the paint, she got both of her feet off the ground, and you cannot do that. Number 20, Amari Martin for Westerville North, taking it up to the key as she passes to number 3, Alyssa Wright. Back to Amari as she shoots a 3 from the top of the key and misses. Kayla Delmore taking it up the court as she passes the midcourt line. Gets blocked by number 11, Allison Rothman, on the pass, but that will be back to your orange ball here on Pioneer Court, as Reese Miller is set to inbounds it, passes to Kayla Delmore.
Kayla Delmore and Emma Delmore seem to be doing a lot for this team. They've been playing basketball all throughout middle school and before that too, and I believe they play AAU as well.
That is correct, as Kayla Delmore, gets the ball, passes it up to number 24, Reese Miller, and stolen by number 3 of Westerville North, Emily Preston. As I'm hearing, you are joining us here in the film, as you can now see, and hello here from midcourt, as number 5, Shariah Smith, takes a 3 and misses. Reese Miller with the shot, airballed, but rebounded by Kayla Delmore, Ellie Beck gets it at the top of the court. As London Davis driving in, posting up, passes out to Reese Miller. Reese in the paint, banks it in.
Makes it.
2-2, tied. This is an exciting game so far, as we're only about a minute in, and 2 minutes in, excuse me, as that shot just misses for number 5, Chariah Smith. Jordan Sullivan taking it up the court. Passes it to Reese Miller, and she is traveling, call it a traveling on number 23, Jordan Sullivan, and it is going the other way.
So a big part of this season with the new coach has been the term Kanai. On the back of their warm-up jerseys, they have the acronym Kanai spelled out. And I talked to Quinn Shannon. She's a sophomore on the team. She's new to the varsity team this year. She said that compared to last year, the culture has changed so much. The new coach has brought in so much energy and a new perspective on the game. Our big thing we're focusing on is Kanai, which stands for constant and never-ending improvement. What do you think of that, Ethan?
I think that's a great motto to live by, and I'm all for it. I think these girls are really buying into a rhetoric there, and they continue to show it as they seem a very unified team. As Chariah Smith, number 5 for Westerville North, has been an impact player so far. She is standing at 6 foot tall, and she got fouled in the paint, and she will attempt her first free throw and is missed. As number 20, Amari Martin, is tying her shoe at midcourt. They're holding for that, as this will be a live ball on the second free throw. As she swishes that one, Westerville North 3, Orange 2. Ellie Beck passes it up to Jordan Sullivan. Jordan over to Reese and to Kayla Delmore, who takes it above midcourt and nulls that 8-second violation. Ellie Beck driving in to the paint, banks it off, but London gets the rebound. There's a scrum for it on the floor until it is picked up by number 3, Emily Preston. Passed up to Amari Martin and over to number 5, who airballs that one. Ellie Beck taking it back up the court once again. This is Ellie Beck's first year on the varsity team, as she is a sophomore, and she's been quite the impact player herself. She's starting, and I have to say, Kylie, I called the first basketball game for these Orange Pioneer girls, and the starters have evolved. These are not the same starters. I believe only 2 starters are the same as when I was here. You got a really big sixth man mentality here, sixth woman mentality, excuse me, on the court. Everybody wants to do their part, and they're not playing selfish basketball at all, which I think is attributed to that Kanai mentality, as Westerville North steals the ball. Jump shot missed at the free throw line. And that 2-pointer is made by Orange. 4-3 is your score. Orange Pioneers in the lead.
Four to 5, Westerville North now as they make the layup.
That's right. You got Chariah Smith making that bunny in the paint as Kayla Delmore loses that ball. Hard defense is being played by that Westerville North, and you cannot pick that ball up off the ground and start running with it when both of your knees are on the ground and you just have it in your hands. You cannot run away with it like you're stealing anything.
London Davis goes out. Looks like her replacement is...
I believe
one of the
Haley Smith.
Oh, Haley Smith.
Haley Schwady, excuse me.
Schwady.
Haley S is on the paper. I apologize for that one. Haley Schwady checking in. One of the few forwards for this Orange team. I believe there was only 3 to 4.
3.
That's right, as Ellie Beck gets the inbound and is running towards the left side of the basket. Pass over to Emma Delmore, who also checked in for the Pioneers. In for Reese Miller in the paint, who makes it good from 5 feet away. 6-5 is your score. Orange Pioneers on top. And number 5, Chariah Smith, just makes it over Reese Miller and Haley Schwady. Now, she is a real difference maker so far in this game, as she has made a lot of these points for Westerville. I believe 5 is her count. Oh, excuse me, all 7 points for Westerville North have been by Chariah Smith. She is a real impact player in the paint, as she is 6 foot tall, and I do not believe anyone on Orange's team boasts that height.
That's right, and Chariah Smith is only a sophomore. She has so much room to improve in these last 2 years of high school, and maybe there's more for her in the future.
That's right. She has scored 7 of our points, of their points tonight, excuse me, and number 24, Reese Miller, is leading the team with 4. London Davis has the other 2, I believe. So they're wiping away the floor.
Looks like there was a spill.
That's right. You know, number one thing in these high school games is safety. We want our teams to be safe, and that is why they keep the floors clean and the people from not being banged up, as London Davis was treated over there on the sideline.
That's right. We have some good passing out of the back.
That's right, as it passed over to Reese Miller. And she got swatted there by number 20, I believe that was Amari Martin. As Reese Miller is driving in and fouled, she will be taking 2 free throw shots. So we're waiting for the first foul shot to go up.
She misses her foul shot.
She does miss the first one. This will be, her second will be a loose ball. So that means that anyone is able to get it off the rebound. She misses that one, but rebounded by Haley Schwady and in for the 2 points. Now, you know, sometimes that's good. You want to miss that second one if you have confidence in your rebounders, because as you know, they are not the ones closest to the basket. The other team gets that privilege, and therefore she walked away with 2 instead of 1 on that miss. Passed up to Ellie Beck to get it across the front court. Kayla Delmore swatted again by Amari Martin as she gets the breakaway, and that should just be an easy layup for Amari Martin.
That was quite a move from Amari Martin. I'm assuming we'll be seeing way more of that tonight.
That is very true, as Emma Delmore gets the ball and passes to Ellie Beck. Back to Kayla Delmore, which just slips through her hands. That ball may be greased out there. But number 23, Kayla Curry-Brown, puts that one up and is fouled. She will be shooting 2 foul shots. Not a lot of fouls in this game so far, as we are almost done with the first quarter. 2 fouls for Orange, 1 for Westerville. They're playing a clean game tonight, I must say. As the first one does not touch anything. Your score is 8-9, Westerville North.
Coming in for Emma Delmore is London Davis. She's back on the court.
I believe she's in for Reese Miller. Or no, Reese is out there, but Emma Delmore is also still out there. I believe Kayla Delmore is the one that got taken off. They are twins. It's very hard to tell. If it wasn't for the number on their back, I would not be able to tell for sure. As Reese Miller, some slight miscommunication there, as they were all in the same spot. And number 1, Amani Finch, gets brutalized down there in the paint. That was a hard foul, and you know, sometimes you got to take those fouls if you're Orange and you're not close to the bonus whatsoever. You don't want those easy, what would be easy 2 points. You want to move them back to about 15 feet, I believe, is the high school free throw line.
That's right,
and
it
make
seems
them
to be
shoot.
working as she missed her first free throw. Some insight from Quinn Shannon again. she talks about how last time that they played Westerville North, they're 2 points within their score at halftime. However, they fell behind just by a little. The goal for this game is to stay in it after halftime and have fewer turnovers. Quinn says that they need to be a better third quarter team. They need to stay focused, and they need to have less turnovers in the third quarter.
That is very true, Kylie. Thank you. As London Davis is taking it across midcourt, passes up to Haley Schwady, and she has traveled once again. I believe there's a lot of calls in this game that could have gone either way, traveling or a charge. As that one, not charge, excuse me, blocking, as she ran right into her, but they said that she did not dribble before it. And Ellie Beck gets the rebound off the miss by number 1. Amani Finch. Kayla Delmore, excuse me. That is hard. Dribbling up the court, and
there's some controversy on the calls here.
A foul is called on Orange. Indeed, no parent likes to see their daughter or son get a foul on them. And that is why high school sports is important, to keep your composure, as there's a lot of emotion when you're watching your son or daughter play the game, as I'd imagine.
That's right.
Passed out to the corner. They want to see her shoot, and she does. And there was a reason that they did not guard her close, as number 11, Allison Rothman, misses that one from the corner. She's more of a down in the paint player, as she is very tall, as that one is staying here at Orange. Oh.
Being passed in by Emma Delmore. She gives it to Kayla Delmore, her sister.
As that will bring us to the...
She misses.
She misses at the end of the first quarter. Your score is Westerville North 10, Pioneers 8. Now, Kylie, what did you see in that first quarter that you think that the Pioneers did well and what they could improve on?
I definitely did see a lot of what Quinn talked about. I saw a lot of turnovers on their part. They made a lot of mistakes with traveling, but however, I did see a lot of communication, and they were very smart about who to guard and when to shoot. And I think if they just keep working together and keeping that Kanai mentality, they'll come again through for the rest of the game.
That is right. As the possession is going towards the Orange side, which means they will get the ball at the end of this quarter, which is now coming to a close. This first quarter conference about done, and they're about to get back on the court for period number 2.
A lot of these players on this Orange girls team are multi-sport athletes. We have London Davis as a volleyball commit to Kansas University. We have Quinn Shannon, she's a runner at Orange High School. She went to New Balance Nationals for track season. I ran with her there. She is a very skilled runner too. We also have Haley Schwady, she's very skilled in soccer. So I think that contributes to a lot of the girls players' athleticness, and that helps them on the court as well.
That is right, as Kayla Delmore took a somewhere over the rainbow shot, went it all the way up and all the way back down, and it just missed. And there was a scrum for it on the floor, which resulted in an Orange traveling and back to Westerville North, who passes to Alyssa Rothman, who finds an open lane but quickly stopped. And they say that that is a travel on number 11, Alyssa Rothman. A lot of traveling calls here, as there's been a lot of traveling calls here, as this game has progressed. A lot of, that's how you know, as Kayla Delmore just barely misses. But there's been a lot of traveling calls and a lot of on-the-floor plays. That means that they're getting really down and dirty, trying the hardest that they possibly can to score a point here, as this is not an easy let-up game. Number 20, Amari Martin on the two-pointer, just long two.
She buried that one, Ethan.
Indeed, she did, like a dead person. Up to Emma Delmore, who gets it across court. traveling up like a cross-country road trip, and that one is going back to Westerville North per the referee's eye.
It was tipped away there by number 3 on Westerville North. That's Emily Preston. If not by her, then we would have had a point from London Davis.
That is right. As I said, this defense has been very physical on both sides of the court. Now that right there, I would like to point out, number 5, as we've mentioned earlier, Chariah Smith has been dominating the paint. That was like a, for my football fans out there, Mike Evans play where you throw it straight up, and he's so tall and physical that he can catch it no matter where you throw it as long as it's high. And that's what they're doing down there. They're passing it up high as it is stolen from Jordan Sullivan. They're passing it up high. She's catching it and she's delivering.
And she makes that 3-pointer.
That's right. Amari Martin has been hot from that right corner of the basket.
Just like we predicted, Amari Martin seems to be one of the stars of Westerville North. She's put a lot of points on the board.
That's right. As London Davis just misses that one in the paint, taken up by number 3, Emily Preston. And so a long shot.
That.
Once again, Amari Martin. And you know, this is what we're talking about here. These runs are very hard for the Pioneers, as in past games they've kept it very close for very long in the first quarter and such. But once it gets outside of that, little slips start to happen. And as you know, these girls from Westerville North are on a 7-0 run in 1 minute and 20 seconds in this second quarter. So this is one of the things that the Pioneers really need to watch out for, is these runs that they make, that other teams are able to make against them, because when the defense slips up, the offense of the other team always capitalizes. As that's been a trend, is why I bring this up in past games. And it just happened here tonight, as they're on a 7-0 run and they call a timeout, the Orange Pioneers.
I believe the Orange Pioneers can still get back in this game if they just keep working together and they keep pushing through.
That timeout just came to a close there, and number 23, Jordan Sullivan, will be taking it out for the Orange Pioneers. Emma Delmore gets the inbound, passed over to Ellie Beck. Another thing that the Pioneers, as Chariah Smith misses that one but picks it off. As I was saying it earlier, wow.
She gets that 3 from the top of the key, Ethan.
That's right. Amari Martin has been an extreme featured player of tonight's game, as they're now on a 12-0 run. But another thing that's hurt the Pioneers in the past is that press defense in their own side of the court. The full court press, really hard to defend against us. That's a travel by Ellie Beck, and it'll be taken over the other way. As we're talking about these travels being a big part of the game, as Reese Miller and Haley Schwady check into the game. But the full court press has been harsh to these Pioneers, like a private school teacher out there. They are not forgiving, and as you can see in that one, Chariah Smith gets that pick, which turns into a Amari Martin 3-pointer.
Westerville North doing a good job passing the ball around and finding those open shots on the outside.
That's right. Number 2, Amani Finch, just misses that 3, and Jordan Sullivan is there for the rebound as she makes that one. Continuation rules. This is the NBA. That one was a continuation or a shooting foul, I believe.
It seemed to be an underhand shot into the basket.
That is right. As it is 10-20 Pioneers, and she's looking to make this a 3-point play and one, like Shaq's shoes. For all of you who don't know, and one is Shaquille O'Neal's shoe brand. But she makes that and one. Now, you know, sometimes you just got to chuck up a prayer and hope that it falls, and that one did. I don't think she believed that one would go in. She was looking to draw a foul. And that one's going the other way as number 11, Alyssa Rothman, just barely misses her player there, and it goes out of bounds.
This is the first time we're seeing Joy Gemini in the game. She's a senior this year. She's been committed to this team for 4 years. And I think that now she's in the game, we can see this game being taken up a notch.
That's right. Amari Martin gets that full course press interception and over to into the basket. 22-11 is your score, Westerville North. As number 2, Alyssa Wright is taking it up the court. She pulls up for a shot, but does not take it. As number 5, Chiraya Smith makes that one in the paint, 24-11.
It is difficult to defend a girl who is 6 foot, but props to her for being able to keeping up her skill and getting those baskets.
That is right. A Baker Mayfield Jarvis Landry connection there. That was a long pass and catch from the catch from Haley Schwady leads to 2 points for the Pioneers as Kayla Delmore pulls up and makes it.
The Pioneers are coming back, it seems.
Yes, this is a very streaky team, not in game to game, but from play to play. They will either be very hot or very cold, and right now they're heating up. And that is always exciting to see as a Pioneers fan when this team begins heating up a little bit.
The Orange Pioneers are right now on a 6-loss streak, but they're hoping to turn that around tonight. Right now it's 24 Westerville North, 15 Pioneers, but there are 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in this quarter, and let's see if they can keep coming out strong and finish this quarter with more points on the board.
Ain't that right, Kylie?
No, you can't keep it.
As your 5 playing right now for the Pioneers, Reese Miller, Haley Schwady, Jordan Sullivan, Kayla Delmore, and Joy Jamay. As we mentioned earlier, Joy is the senior captain, one of the only senior on this team, as Chiraya Smith misses that one, but she gets fouled. That'll be 2 points, 2 shots, for Chiraya Smith. But if you're in the Olentangy Orange High School gym and you look up at the senior banners on the west side of the building in the gym, you will see only one single girl for the seniors for this class on the basketball team, and that just shows how much growth will be done for this team as Chiraya Smith misses that one, and how much promise there is, because as you know, teams progress. This is a young team, not a lot of chemistry, as they haven't been playing with each other, a new coach. That's hard to get into, but I believe as they get into it in the next few years, you could see a real run being made by these Orange Pioneers.
That's right, and we have some promising middle school students coming up to fill in the gaps in this team, one of which being Marion O'Brien. She's a star, it seems, on the Orange Trailblazers middle school team. She'll be coming up next year as a freshman.
Great knowledge, Kylie, as number 23 for Westerville North does not make that layup, and Kayla Delmore will be taking it up the court. And she has tripped and falls. That is a hard fall to make, but she will be right back in this, you better believe. Will be out of bounds by Orange.
It's also great to know that the JV team has been working hard as well. It's also a very young team. Most of them are freshmen. There are some sophomores on the team. But as they keep improving, they'll move up to varsity, and I believe we'll have a very strong program in the future with the JV team being full of great prospective future varsity players.
That is right, as it appears that Ellie Beck is checking into the game after this inbounds here for Kayla Delmore. And London Davis in for Joy Jamay. As it is inbounds to nobody but Jordan Sullivan picks it up, and London Davis gets blocked in the paint. London Davis with her own rebound.
She passes it out to Haley Schwady. Haley misses. London with the rebound.
and London puts it in, 25-17 Westerville North. This gap is getting smaller. There's some fumbling there by number 1 for Westerville North. Passed over and intercepted by Reese Miller. Reese Miller coming up the court. She's coming hard, but watch out behind you because there is somebody there. Number 23, Jordan Sullivan taking it up at the key, and she is fouled. Some very adamant fans in the
crowd seems to be getting way more into this game as the Pioneers are closing the gap. We now have Brooke Thompson checking in for Haley Swati. Brooke Thompson's another junior, and I believe she's a rowing athlete as well.
Ain't that the truth? As she wants the ball, she's posting up hard against number 23 for Westerville North. And Ellie Beck's spin move, putting her through the spin cycle.
It's a good effort by Reese, a good run.
That is true. Reese Miller not able to make it fall, though. A shame indeed. Number 5, Shariah Smith will be inbouncing it to number 20, Amari Martin. These are the two extreme stars of this Westerville North team, as they have 21 combined points out of the 25. That is crazy. You have a big 2 here for Westerville North as Amari Martin makes another one fall to give them 23 combined points. This is truly a Kobe Shaq connection here that they have going on, as Amari Martin with the rebound. Passes it to the corner.
She misses. The rebound is given, she misses too.
That's right. Shariah Smith was scrambling for that ball, but I believe it's a jump ball that will go over to the Pioneers.
Let's go, Jordan.
Brooke Thompson passing it in to Kayla Delmore. Kayla's taking it up the court. That full court press, as we mentioned before, hurting hard for the Pioneers as she gets it stolen, but a reach-in foul is called. You know, when you're playing NBA Jam and you keep pressing that NBA 2K or NBA Jam, and you keep pressing that steal button, that X button, sometimes you get that reaching called, as she did right there. You know, they've gotten a lot of successful steals, but that one will not be one of them, as Orange gets the inbound. Up to Kayla Delmore and driven in. London Davis wide open and in after she gets her own rebound 3 times. Now, height is a really important characteristic in basketball, and London Davis has that on her side. That's why she is going to Kansas as a volleyball player, because as it is also very good in that sport. But as you can see, she towers over everyone, and she can get those rebounds easy. And that allows you to make some mistakes and come back from it and score. As number 1, Amani Finch, not been very hot from the 3-point line. And that one goes out of bounds. Orange Pioneers to inbound it, 27-19 your score. Westerville North leading.
We have a full front row in the student section right now. It's good to see some students are coming out for the girls game too. It's great to see the support from the school.
Number 44, Emma Delmore, has checked into the game and is running up the court.
That's intercepted by number 20 on Westerville North.
Amari Martin, as she falls on the ground, and nothing is called there. Kayla Delmore picks up her dribble, cannot dribble, no moss. And there's 6 seconds left on the clock, and she makes that one in for the go-ahead basket, not to win, but to lead to the quarter. 27-21 is your score. Now, what a great momentum builder that layup was at the last second. The student section is hyped. And, you know, you love to see that kind of support from your student section here in girls basketball. So the Pioneers are looking to get their second win of the season, and they're looking strong tonight. 6-point deficit going into halftime. As Kylie mentioned earlier, the team has been saying that the third quarter has been rough to them, but they're not going to let it be rough for them tonight. I hope, as you know, some of the greats in coaching, John Wooden Coach K. And one person that I like to mention, Thad Matta, the old coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, he would go into that locker room, he would get red, and he would get mad at his players. I don't believe that's what you should do in high school athletics, but Ohio State would always come out strong in the third quarter if they had not been doing good in the first half. In the second half, there's no quarters in college basketball. But they come out strong, they come out hard, and they come out ready to fight and I hope that's going to transfer over to this Orange Pioneers as the cheerleaders are coming out here with some friends from the youth cheerleading group.
This will be a fun halftime show, Ethan. I think you should get out there with them.
Oh, I agree. I would love to, but I'd probably not be allowed to, as I am a 17-year-old boy. The parents are huddled up here, excited to take videos of their daughters. But we must continue talking about basketball. So, Kylie, what did you see in that first half that can be transferred over into the second half as momentum?
I saw as they started the game, their momentum was slow. They didn't get right into it. They looked a little unsure. But as the game kept going on, they got more confident. They got more familiar with Westerville North, and they started to know what they needed to do. So I think towards the end of that quarter, we saw a new team than we saw in the first quarter. We saw a lot more points being made and a lot more runs up to the offensive half of the court. So I think that'll translate over to the third quarter and fourth quarter and just keep getting better from there.
You're completely correct there. Although, wow, that was quite the entrance. I mean, wow. But as the cheerleaders are doing a Frozen-themed dance here, but the second quarter did not start out forgiving for these Orange Pioneers, as they went on Westerville North went on a 12-0 run that got them really ahead of the Pioneers, but the Pioneers fought back quietly as it is now cut in half, that deficit. Only 6 points, 27-21. Westerville North. If you are just joining us, thank you for supporting Orange journalism. And you are listening to Ethan Hunter alongside Kylie Hansen. We are here at halftime, 7 minutes to go. And, it's quite the even match. If you take away that 12-0 run, your Pioneers would be in the lead 6-0. They would be in the lead by 6 points. But, that is not what happened. That run happened. And that was like a momentary lapse for the Pioneers. The Pioneers have been doing good all game and with defense, but, they just allowed them to go out there and take whatever they wanted there in that beginning of the second quarter. But as it moved on, as the quarter progressed, a lot of points were gained back by the Pioneers. And that takes us to where we are now, 27-21, Westerville North.
That's right, Ethan, and I think we do need to start thinking about a Panera player of the game. Who did you see on the first half that you think is worthy?
London Davis is always a candidate, as she is hard and physical in that paint, and she has 6 points for these Pioneers. Kayla Delmore, her name is spoken a lot, 4 points for these Pioneers so far in this game. Reese Miller has been making a big difference as the power forward / small forward for this team. She's been making a lot of good passes. Haley Schlotty's been checking in. She's been making some serious difference. There's a stat in the NFL that does not exist in basketball, but probably should, is player impact. And that is not measured by, points and such, although that is a factor, but is measured on how much this player being on the court or the field means to the game and helps with the game. And, there's a lot of quiet plays for Olentangy Orange that you will not see scoring a lot of points, getting a lot of stats, but what you will see them doing is playing physical defense, not allowing points, making key passes, key assists, and that you won't see on the box score, but if you watch them, you're like, wow, that is a player that is making a difference.
That's right, and I think on the Westerville North side, we definitely have Amari Martin in the running. She's made a huge impact with this team, scoring most of the points. and showing a lot of ball handling skills. And I think she is a really good candidate for the award too.
Oh, I agree entirely. And if we may take a second to talk about Westerville North, Chariah Smith and Amari Martin have been making a big difference. As I compared them to Shaq and Kobe, I say that's a pretty good comparison, as Chariah has been hard in that paint, getting all the passes from Amari and getting it in. And Amari Martin has been making a lot of threes from the outside. And as the cheerleaders are saying hi to Kylie and I, always nice to see future Pioneers out on the court. But Amari Martin was also making some key threes, taking some key jumpers. And I'm excited to see this battle here between London Davis and Chariah Smith continue in the paint.
That's right, Ethan. I think Westerville North is now back on the court. We're still waiting for Orange. They're still in the locker room. I think they're still going to be talking about that Kenai mentality, as that's the common theme of their season, how they can keep improving and never stop. I think with this game that applies, because they started in the first half kind of rough, but then towards the end of the first half they got it back together, they improved, and I think that's going to translate to the second half very well.
Absolutely, Kylie. Yeah, now, you know, I'm glad that this Orange Pioneers team has not come back out yet, because they need a talk, they need a strategy for the second quarter, much more than they need to warm up and get their shot ready, because, you know, the shots have been falling for the Pioneers in ways that other games have not, but they seem a little disorganized out there. They seem like they need a little push out there to continue, and as they're just coming out now with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, they really seem like they need a push from their coach, strong leadership from Coach Rowe. And I really hope that they got that to continue into this second half, excuse me.
That's right. I think Coach Rowe is doing a really great job of building this program this season. She's been helping the team out with creating a whole different culture for the team. She's scheduled a lot of new practices. She's made a push for lifting. She even made a new Twitter account, and she's very active on posting motivational tweets on there, and it's really helping set the culture for this team.
That is very true. You can tell that she's a big difference maker as a coach. And, you know, a lot of coaches become unpopular because of their strict method from other players outside of the team, because what you don't see is the improvement, the push, the coach love that is present as a coach, but the team members still seem to really like her. And sometimes what you don't need is a pat on the back. Sometimes what you need is a push forward to a new horizon, which is what these girls really want to see in the game. Players of this team have been telling us that this is you cannot build something in a day, and they need to continue to push forward. They need to continue to keep going, and they need to continue to get better every game. As we are 1 minute from halftime, Kylie, any final thoughts before the second half?
I just want to mention that I think it's really helping this year. They have a strong female leader to look up to, Coach Rowe. I think that really helps changing the team culture, as it's really easy for girls teams to relate to another female who's coaching, and I think she understands the women's game a lot more, and she's doing a lot for this team in terms of that aspect.
That is right. She was coaching at a community college women's basketball not too long ago. Last season, she played basketball herself in high school and college, and this shows because she has a true understanding of not basketball, but this girls basketball aspect, and especially on this high school level, she has a real understanding of how to win games in ways that others may not be able to.
And that's the end of halftime. The Pioneers and Westerville North are coming back onto the court.
Yes, and they will switch court once again at the start of this second half. And Westerville North will be inbouncing it to Amari Martin. Guarded by Ellie Beck. Passed into the paint and off the rim.
Block by Reese Miller.
That's right, and that's going to the Pioneers after that hard defense from the Pioneers. That one is tipped but blocked by Chariah. Chariah Smith was blocked by
Kayla Delmore.
Kayla Delmore, who is a lot smaller than Chariah. That just shows the heart that that plays could have. Some of the Westerville North fans looking for a foul, but they will not get one. As London Davis blocks again, and it is once again the Westerville North ball.
The ball seems to have hit our camera. I apologize. But already right off the bat, we can see a huge change from the Orange defense. They're doing a lot more. They're working a lot harder. The Warriors score, but the Pioneers are still coming back.
That's right, as they score, as Westerville North scores there, 29-21. Ellie Beck goes coast to coast, Atlantic to Pacific, but is blocked and turned the other way. Amari Martin at the top of the three-point line. In the paint to number 21, Lauren Hildebrand, who is checking in for the first time this first half. And shot taken and missed by Chariah Smith, and they're going to call that a foul against Westerville North, going the other way to the Pioneers.
Seems to be another controversial call here in the stands, but the athletes on the court cannot let that get into their mind. They got to keep playing their game. Chariah Smith steals in. She makes a layup. That's okay because Reese Miller gets the ball to Ellie Beck. Ellie's looking for someone. She's looking for somewhere to go. She's being blocked. She's forced out of bounds.
Yes, I apologize. Our sideline camera is no longer working after being hit by a basketball. You know, sometimes those things happen in the game, and that just happened here. You know, you can't account for things like that. But our cameramen and women put themselves on the line each night as Kayla Delmore gets it up to Haley Schwady, and she says she tries to plant her feet there because she knows that would be a travel, but her feet just barely lift up inches off the ground, and that is indeed a travel. Passed into Amari Martin, taking it up on the court.
We apologize that you can't see any video right now, but we're going to try our best to give you a vivid picture of what's going on in the court. Chariah Smith makes another layup. She seems to be doing a lot with this game right now. She's 6 foot, and that's definitely helping her in the lane. That's Kayla Delmore, and it seems no foul was called. She was just pushed down, but a timeout is called. Ethan stepped out to go help fix the camera, but I think right now Orange is doing a good job holding on to the Warriors here. Seems both teams are taking this timeout very seriously. Here it goes. Orange to touch it up. Westerville North is still talking. I think Orange wants to clean up the mistakes they've made in this first half of the third quarter. Like Quinn Shannon mentioned earlier, they need to become a stronger third quarter team. They need to do better and not letting as many turnovers get to the other team. I think they're doing a good job with that so far. Haley Schwady's tossing it in to Kayla Delmore. Kayla Delmore takes it down the court. She's on top of the key. She passes it to Jordan Sullivan. Emma Delmore takes the
Long
three. She makes
three
it.
from the sophomore parking lot. Emma Delmore from deep makes that three, 33-24. I believe that is one of the first threes of the Orange Pioneers game. They're more of a paint team, but as Amari Martin looks to try and counter that with her own three, but airballs it. And Jordan Sullivan will be taking, Haley Schwady, they switched there, will be taking it out for the Pioneers. Passed over to Jordan Sullivan though. And up to Emma Delmore, who passes it to London. And number 2 for Westerville, Alyssa Wright, is attempting to, was attempting to block it, but her foot was out of bounds, and that is out. Emma Delmore getting the ball in the corner. We'd like to see you back joining us with the, or I believe not, I apologize, as we will try to keep painting you a vivid picture like Bob Ross painting a summer breezy lake. Think about that one while you can't see the game. Nice summer breezy lake painting as Orange Pioneers will be taking it out. That's why I was talking about painting, because nothing was happening. Emma Delmore taking it up, passing it across the court.
She gets stepped in front of. Haley Schwady gets stepped in front of by number 21 on Westerville North. Number 21 is Lauren Hildebrand. She's a sophomore.
That's right. Kayla Delmore taking it across the midcourt line, dribbling up against Amari Martin. Kayla Delmore over to Haley Schwady on the left side. Haley Schwady passing it back over to the right. Emma Delmore. Emma Delmore's driving into the paint. She is at the logo and the OCC logo, and blocked. Number 2 for Westerville, driving in and scores in that paint. She drove right up the right side and got an easy layup for 2. 35-24 is your score. Orange Pioneers behind as London Davis gets an easy pass, but blocked from behind, fouled from behind. She was blocked, but that's because she hit her arm hard, and that will be 2 shots for London Davis.
I think Westerville North has a good job working on their ball handling skills in practice. That definitely is shown on the court, as a lot of these players know what to do when they get the ball, and they can dribble very well. London Davis made her first free throw. We have a handful of players checking in. We have Joy Jamay checking in for Jordan Sullivan, Brooke Thompson checking in for Emma Delmore, and lots of Westerville North players checking in.
That is true, as London Davis looking to make her second free throw and does. And that is 35-26 Orange Pioneers. Free throws are easy points, and you got to make those as a team. You got to have a good percentage for that. And Orange has been doing pretty well with their free throws. Still 0 fouls in this second half for the Orange Pioneers, 2 against them, and some major points gotten from those fouls as number 11 Alyssa Rothman takes it from the side and just missed. Brooke Thompson boxing her out and passes to Joy Jamay, but it hits her feet and it's just, rolling on the ground. Back to Westerville North. She is rambling, bumbling, stumbling around Brooke Thompson, but really just cannot get it done as Haley Schwady is guarding her hard, Alyssa Rothman hard in the corner. London Davis being backed up by Chariah Smith. They're fighting really hard. This is a great match.
Up and she makes the layup. It is really hard to defend a 6-foot player.
Indeed it is. Haley Schwady. Haley Schwady keeps traveling on that stop. You got to keep your feet on the ground if you want to stop the ball there. And she keeps making these little jumps that force a traveling call upon her, as Amari Martin is, number
Alyssa
2,
Wright.
Alyssa Wright. That looks like 20 there, but alas, she is fouled, and I believe those are shooting fouls for number 2, Alyssa Wright. Kayla Delmore gets the foul upon her, and that is the first foul for the Pioneers' first half, as the first one is made by Alyssa Wright, and that makes the score 38-26. Westerville North leading. So as we said, you know, the team has not been doing too well in the second quarter, or in the third quarter, excuse me, right out of halftime. And that has stayed as Westerville has gained 6 points on them.
Joy Jamay is making a run up the side. She looks to find someone, but she finds the Warriors. The Warriors are coming back. And number 11 for the Warriors makes the layup. That was a jump shot. Now Haley Strati has it. She passes to Brooke Thompson. She's cornered.
And her foot is stepped out there, just barely, foot on the line, which means that it is going the other way to the North Warriors.
Brooke Thompson and Joy Jamay come out for Jordan Sullivan, and Reese Miller are back in the game. It's the Warriors ball. Number 11, Allison Rothman throws it in to number 2, Alyssa Wright. Alyssa Wright with the layup. She misses. London Davis passes to Kayla Delmore, who gets stolen again by number 11.
Alyssa Rothman, that is.
Alyssa Rothman has been stepping up this quarter recently. I've seen a lot of moves from her.
That is correct.
There she is again. She challenges Kayla Delmore, resulting in a foul.
And that is coming out of the paint there. A lot of fouls from the paint, a lot of out of bounds from the paint. You know, this game is not happening on the outside. This game is really happening on the inside, as number 2, Alyssa Wright, misses the shot, passed out to Alyssa Wright once again, and she misses from the corner for 3. Reese Miller there is fouled, and she will be taking it in from her own end.
I just want to mention that number 5, Tariah Smith, has 18 points on the board. That's a lot more than we're seeing from any other player on the Warriors and the Pioneers. Right behind her is number 2, Alyssa Wright, and behind her is number 11, Allison Rothman.
You know, Reese Miller keeps getting wrapped up there and fouled hard. She was just again, and Haley Schwade will be taking it out for the Pioneers. A lot of physical plays here, and this has been a very physical third quarter in comparison to the very physical first quarter.
Pioneers are making a lot of mistakes here. They need to get back in the game. They need to stay focused. They got to block out all the distractions. Like I said again, as Quinn Shannon was mentioning, they need to stay tighter in the third quarter. I think the Pioneers are really making an effort, and they're coming back. Here's a pass to Jordan Sullivan. She takes it over the half-court line. She finds Kayla Delmore on the Ellie Beck on the outside. Ellie misses.
And Ellie is fouled there. She'll be shooting 2 at the line with 2 minutes left to play in this third quarter. The Pioneers are down 45-26. That is a 19-point difference there. Hard to come back from, but it is possible. This team rallies upon itself, and especially in the fourth quarter, as we've seen, usually they try to make a run back, but it is not enough, and maybe tonight they can start now, as Ellie Beck just misses that first free throw off the back of the rim.
She's getting encouragement from her teammates. Here comes the second. And she makes it.
That one falls 45-27. Westerville North leading, as number 23 for Westerville North passes over to number 3 to Alyssa Rothman, number 11, and back to Amari Martin. Their coach is frantically yelling plays at them, but that one was not heard, as number 22, Alyssa Kaiser,
Jordan
just
Sullivan
misses that one.
finds Ellie Beck. Ellie Beck finds her way around 2 defenders. Now she seems to be cornered and trips one of the other players while she's on the ground.
It will be the Warriors' ball after that penalty there. Foul, excuse me.
Amari Martin taking her time as she crosses the half-court line. She finds number 23, Kayla Curry-Brown. Kayla shoots and misses. But now Reese Miller is on a run. She has 2 defenders in front of her. The defender tips the ball out of her hand. She finds Haley on the outside.
And
Haley finds Ellie.
Haley gets practically a pass to herself there as it bounces off her hands and back. But that is off Jordan Sullivan's foot. I think she thought that it was out of bounds and stopped trying to get it back.
And Allison Rothman picks that one up easily for the Warriors. The Warriors miss their attempt. Here comes Ellie Beck again. Ellie with the layup, she misses. Back to Allison Rothman.
That looks like
That
a
is not
frantic.
Allison Rothman.
That looks like a frantic forced shot, as Amari Martin is taking it up across the half-court line and commanding her offense there. I believe that she wants the last shot of this quarter. They do not want the Pioneers to get another momentum-building shot. As Alyssa Wright banks that one in, and that will be all for the Orange Pioneers' third quarter. Your score is Westerville North 47, Olentangy Orange 27. A 20-point difference there in this second half. Now, Kylie, what did you see in that half that led to the short demise of the Pioneers there?
I think in the beginning of the half, they came out of the locker room strong. They still had that Kenai mentality that they went over in the locker room. But I think as we've been mentioning throughout this game, throughout the third quarter, they started falling short. They started making mistakes, and I think those mistakes really added up in the end with their turnovers. However, I think the Pioneers are doing a good job of making those runs down into their basket, and they're getting down in the key and attempting those shots, and I think they just got to keep attempting and just keep working to make those.
They sure have, Kylie, as this fourth and final quarter is about to get underway. Haley Schwady, London Davis, Reese Miller, Ellie Beck, and Jordan Sullivan are your starting 5 for this fourth quarter. This has been a strong starting 5 for the Pioneers in this game. 27 points put it up in the through 3 quarters, as number 2, Alyssa Wright, is taking it out of bounds to Amari Martin, who crosses the half-court line, guarded closely by Ellie Beck. As number 2, Alyssa Wright, takes a deep shot.
She buries that from the 3. Jordan Sullivan crosses half court.
But stolen away by number 3, Emily Preston. London Davis with the rebound. Jump ball, which will go the way of the Pioneers. Haley Schwady to take the ball out.
We're seeing some new players in the game. We have Molly Strickland. She's a sophomore, number 33. Ellie Beck has it. She makes the run up.
And a double dribble is called there by Ellie Beck. This one will be going back the other way. Now these orange guards have been called for a lot of traveling double dribbles and that such of call. Like the Westerville North girls are not facing. As your score is 50-27, Westerville North on top. Orange Pioneers have not had themselves a game. 23 points put up against them as number 31 for Orange. Guarded closely, but it just does not fall.
Number 21, Lauren Hildebrand, makes a nice move in the box. And she puts that one in the basket. Now Jordan Sullivan has it. She's looking to do something. Now the scramble on the ground.
And another jump ball will take it the way of the Westerville North Warriors. Kayla Delmore checking back into the game for Haley Schwady.
Number 2, Alyssa Wright. She attempts a shot. It was close.
round and round like the Bermuda Triangle whirlpools. Alyssa Wright takes a deep three and buries it.
27 to 55 is your score here.
And I believe that is a penalty there. And the ball will be taken out by your Orange Pioneers. The full court press has dissolved from the Westerville North Warriors. And she is allowed to take this one up freely, Ellie Beck.
Ellie Beck finds Molly Strickland, who finds Jordan Sullivan. Once again to Molly Strickland.
And that is another travel going back to the Westerville North Warriors, as this court has quieted down quite a bit. And you can tell that these players are not, these fans are not as hopeful as they were at the beginning of the game, but these Pioneers, this game is not over. We support our girls until the end, and that one is going back up to Kayla Delmore.
The team still looks focused even though they're falling behind. They're still making the effort. They're still putting in the work.
Number 31 by Orange, they're just not able to get her grasp upon the ball.
Westerville North defense is looking really strong this quarter. Stronger than they did in the first half. I think in the locker room they must have talked about tightening up their defensive end, and it's really shown here on the court in the second half.
That's
Here
right.
comes Jordan Sullivan back across the court. She's making a run. She finds herself in the corner again. I think the Pioneers are struggling with finding themselves in the corner with not a lot of options.
That's right. But Westerville North is finding themselves in the corner. They have a lot of corner points, corner threes, and corner long twos. You know, the corner is the hardest shot to make, as there's no support there from the backboard or anything. But the Westerville North, and that fake, oh my goodness. It's like Weekend at Bernie's there. I think she faked everyone out and made number 2, Alyssa Wright, who is a senior, fall on the ground. Put that one up on huddle. That was an insane fake there.
Who made the fake, Ethan?
I believe that was number 30, Ellie Beck. Oh, what passing there by the Pioneers from Ellie to Kayla Delmore up to number 31, who we do not have a name for at this point. And she gets it in for 2. Number 31 is a freshman on the JV and freshman team, and but she has been still a difference maker in this game, a tall presence. Quite.
Here comes the whole bench from Westerville North, subbing out everyone. It's a whole change on the court from Westerville North.
That's right. It is like taking your car in for an oil change and you get a whole different car out of the shop. This is a whole new Westerville North team. Most of them we have not seen at all tonight. And we will see how they do against this Orange Pioneers team.
Number 31 scores again. She's making a good impression of herself on this varsity squad. And I think that'll really help her in the future.
It sure has. As we said, this team is young, and this team will continue to grow. And they're looking for these young players to lead the team and kind of push them forward, as the Delmore twins are definitely leading that push. But number 31 there, looking strong, and I believe that this team can keep doing a good job in the future, as that one's just chucked up like a prayer on by number 1 for Westerville North, passed out to number 1 once again, and that one will be out. Westerville North retains the ball.
I think Orange defense is doing a good job. They're tightening up here at the end of the last quarter.
Now, a timeout called by Westerville North. Now, you know, one of the most organizational ways that you can see a team is collected and strong is the inbounds play. You know, when you draw up a great inbounds play and you get a wide open girl cutting to the basket, cutting on the outside with no one around her, and she can shoot that ball, you know, that's a strong showing that your team has character, your team has pride, and you have a good coach that can make these calls, make these plays. So we will see what this inbounds play is. Not something that I've seen here with this widespread inbounds, and we will see what she goes with for this play.
I think Westerville North has enough of a lead. They're going to try some new things, see if it works. Maybe they can use it in the future.
And that one did not work as they tried for the classic up pick at the top of the key, down run to the basket. That is probably the most basic play, but it works a lot of the time. That one, the ball just out as Orange is taking it up to Ellie Beck across court. Jordan Sullivan up to Kayla Delmore, back to Ellie Beck. Ellie Beck over to Kayla Delmore. Number 31 gets hit in the chest, but retains the ball. She was not expecting that pass as she was being defended hard and pushed over there. Number 23, Jordan Sullivan gets it back. Ellie Beck back. And what a passing play. This is making my tongue dry. And Kayla Delmore with the shot. 59-33 is your score. Westerville North on the offensive strive. 3 minutes to go.
There was a bit of an arm there from number 23 to Ellie Beck. She did stumble a little, but no call was made.
And swatted. Get that out of here. Return to sender. The U.S. Postal Service will be here in 5 to 7 business days to pick up your package and send it back to where it originally came from. We are sorry for your inconvenience, but that was a great block there by number 31. Sent back. And a rebound by Jordan Sullivan. See, that block was a key one there. Jordan Sullivan taking it up the court and fouled. Reach in foul. Touched her hand, and that is going back the other way. 59-33 is still your score in the Orange Pioneers.
Another thing I'm seeing on the court is the speed picked up by Westerville North. They're doing a great job getting back and defending, even from all the way to the other end of the court. They have that speed, what it takes to run up and down. They also have the endurance and never slow down. And it's really helping in their defense when Orange is making a run. They can all get back and recover in time.
That is right. Number 23 just slips through her hands again. We've seen a lot of slippy plays. And out to number 1 at the top of the key. Drives in a Euro step there, and it does not fall. And Jordan Sullivan tried to dribble it there, but it went off of number 1's foot, who is on the ground. And she is hurting, but running back. You know, that shows a lot of heart when you get pounded down to the ground, but you continue to run up the floor. Brooke Thompson pass into Kayla Delmore, who makes the play.
The Pioneers are starting to come back in these last 2 minutes of the last quarter. They are determined. They are not giving up. These girls have put all their hearts on the court, and it's really showing in their play.
That is right. Brooke Thompson gets some hard defense there and pushed by number 11. 10 on 11 there.
She blocks the ball with her knee. That might correlate to her earlier soccer career she's had. Yeah,
I mean, true that. It is easy to transfer. Not easy, I would say, but it is beneficial to transfer these skills that you've learned in the past sports to new ones, because you have an advantage of knowing things that other players may not know if this is their primary sport, and that showed in her defense there. Kayla Delmore gets the rebound out to Brooke Thompson, who was shooting those free throws, and that will be taken back by Westerville North, as no prosperity is to come from that rebound.
Number 2, Alyssa Wright, is quick to get the rebound and dribble all the way back to the opposite corner. Again, that speed is translating onto the court. Maybe it's from their endurance and conditioning they've been doing in practice, but all the players seem to have a great level of speed.
And that is a timeout called by Coach Rowe of the Orange Pioneers. We are a minute left. We are into the ticky clock as it is going down fast. 58 seconds on the clock. These Orange Pioneers will be taking out at midcourt, and they only have a minute left. But, I mean, 24-point difference, excuse me. This has shown some real heart by the Pioneers, as they have not given up at all. They're getting even better, like old cheese just gets better with age. And these girls have really shown that they are not going to quit. They're going to continue to fight throughout this game.
We see Quinn Shannon stepping onto the court for the first time in the game. Quinn is a sophomore. She's wearing number 25 tonight, even though the roster says number 34. But again, we're seeing the younger squad come into the game during this last minute of the last quarter with leader Brooke Thompson, who will be a senior next year, leading the team.
That is right. There's no one younger than a sophomore except for Brooke Thompson on this court, which just shows the great prosperity that is to come in future years. Brooke Thompson takes that corner shot, misses, rebounded by number 2 of Westerville North, Alyssa Wright.
There goes Alyssa Wright again. She has the speed. She's dribbling all the way back.
Brooke Thompson drives on the ground. Dives, excuse me. And picked up by Jordan Sullivan.
That was a good pickup by Jordan Sullivan. She gives it to Brooke.
The blue line's right here.
Over and back.
Calling it over and back, which doesn't happen very often.
No, it does not at all. It does not at all, but you know, it's easy to, when there's a scrum on the ground there close to the midline, it is easy to get in a quick over and back there.
I do believe they were not near the blue line, though, as the blue line is the midline. They were near the gray line, which is close to the midline.
Quinn Shannon
has the
gets
ball.
a great pass
it's a
up
good
there.
pass, but it seems to slip out of the hands.
They're saying that it was tipped off of Westerville North, though, and staying orange ball with 7.9 seconds left in this game.
Can they do something in these last 7 seconds? Let's see. Quinn Shannon has the ball. But now number 2 has it to number 11, Westerville North.
And that one will not fall. As your final score, as the buzzer sounds, Westerville North 59, Orange Pioneers 35. Now, Kylie, what are your final thoughts on this game before you wrap it up?
I think the Pioneers did a great job. They really have the heart in this game. They started out a little iffy with some mistakes, but they did a really good job cleaning those up in the second and third quarters. In the fourth quarter, they seemed to get a little down and let the mistakes get the best of them, but they did come back and they fought hard. And I think they have a lot to do from here, but it's a great look at the rest of their season and their future to come. I think this is a great team with a lot of potential. They have the heart, they have the skill, and I think the future is bright from here.
I